Good morning, Philadelphia.
Thought it was Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam.
Yeah. Good morning, Vietnam.
But Philadelphia too.
Yeah,
give them a shout out.
Philadelphia. I don't think it was a good morning in Vietnam. So
yeah,
but yes, that is from the movie. You are right. I'm like, as I started to say it, I'm like, what? Where did they say? Philadelphia, Delaware, Nebraska. Good morning, Nebraska.
That sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time on Tuesday morning. I hope that Monday was a great and productive day for you. I always love coming in on Monday. I had the weekend to relax or do whatever I need to get done. Projects. I worked on projects this weekend. And then I come in on Monday and I get to focus and crank and get through all of my tasks. I love Monday because it's a day I can get through a bunch of tasks.
Yep.
And then Tuesday, I feel like I can breathe a little bit more, right?
Yes.
So Tuesdays are a great day. That's why we do our show on Tuesdays. And it's going to be a good show today. We're talking about something's broken. Something's broken. Did you know? Something's broken and you need to fix it. We're going to help you fix it today. What is broken is that everybody has problems in their business. Everybody has something that is broken that could be fixed and it would better their business. I feel like I got this like alfalfa hair going on in the back today. If you're on YouTube, you can see my little alfalfa cowlick in the back. And we need to fix it. You need to fix it. And the first thing about fixing it is being aware of it. Absolutely. A lot of times people just write it off. They just, oh, that's just a hard customer. That's just they're being ridiculous. But that's not the case. I'll tell you a story about a cleaning company that I am currently working with and I mean by working with is hired to clean my house. They come in twice a month and I feel like we pay them a pretty good fee. We've had multiple cleaning companies over the years. My wife, yes, is OCD. I will admit that. She will admit that. But there are some basic things that need to be done when a cleaning company comes in, and this company continues to fail to do that. And the thing is, I've talked to them. I brought them in. I got with the owner, talked to the owner and said, look, they're not doing this. They're not doing this. These are basic things. And he's like, yeah, we're going to. And every time I talk to him, I'm like, he's a great guy. And they have a really good vision for this business. They're just having some problems and they need to make sure that they don't do this. They've got some things that are broken. So today my wife calls me up. We talked to them last time they came. And my wife calls me today and says, they were there now my house is 3,700 square feet, all one level. And in the past, we've had most companies send 3, if not 4 people, and they spend 2 hours cleaning the house.
That seems right.
That's about right. My wife, if she cleans the house, one person, it literally takes her from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night, doing it all herself. So 4 people, 3 to 4 people, 2 hours, it's acceptable. The house looks good after that. Well, they send 2 people, and the last time, they were there for less than 2 hours. And so I talked to the owner. I said, this is, it's unacceptable. They can't clean our house. We have a ton of tile, a ton of flooring, and most of it is tile. So to sweep and mop it alone is going to take, we have 5.5 bathrooms, right? That's going to take 2 people at least an hour to clean all the bathrooms properly. So under 2 hours, not acceptable. Well, he assures me, well, we're going to fix that. I agree with you 100%. I mean, answered everything perfectly, was a great business owner, really felt like he wanted to take care of the customer. Unfortunately, they show up today. She calls me. They were there for less than 1 hour. Or about 1 hour. They were there for 1 hour. I look on the cameras. They didn't mop the floors. They didn't sweep. We have this huge glass sliding door. They cleaned one side of it and then didn't move the screen and clean the other side. I mean, it's very obvious. They didn't vacuum the little bit of carpet that we do have in the front room and the office and the different bedrooms. They didn't vacuum those floors. Anyways, just a multitude of things that they didn't obviously do, and we went backwards. I talked to them about them being there for minimum of 2 hours, and this time they come in and they go for an hour, and then they bounce. So they've got some things that are broken. And again, it's like, enough is enough. I've talked to them multiple times. My wife is mad. I called them up today. They were, oh, we're so sorry. We're calling them. They're going to come back. They're going to finish the job right. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to be dealing with this.
Yeah.
We've already talked. And I'm a business coach. So I sat them down and said, look, I'm a business consultant. I understand there's issues, there's problems. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because if you don't know, you can't fix it. And that's what I keep telling my wife. And she's like, well, how many times do we have to tell them? They know. They're not fixing it. And that's the thing is, but in their minds, I can kind of tell that they're probably starting to get this attitude of, well, these guys are hard. These are just a hard customer. And if I'm just going to lose this one customer, well, that's not that big a deal. And that is the wrong attitude to have.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only customer that's going to have these problems, and you're going to lose more customers. You're going to lose business. This is not how you want to run a business. You need to recognize what's broken and fix it. So let's get into how they can do that, Troy.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you identify what's broken in your business? Well, there's a couple of ways that make it really, really easy. Talk to your employees. They're your frontline people, and they normally know what's broken. So, for example, in this situation, talk to the person who answers the phone, right? The person who's spent several phone calls with you, hearing about what's wrong, should have a pretty good idea of what needs to be fixed.
Absolutely.
Talk to the employees that are going into the house, right? What's going on? Why are we spending less time there? All that kind of stuff. So
why didn't you mop? Why didn't you vacuum? Why didn't you sweep? All that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Right?
So talking to the employees will give you a good idea of what's not working in the business. And maybe, and again, I'm just guessing, I'm not saying necessarily this is the truth for this business, but you might talk to those employees, and the cleaners might come back and say, well, the problem is that you book us for 6 houses a day, and we're only working an 8-hour shift,
right?
Which means there's no way we can spend 2 hours at a house, right? So all of a sudden, boom, now you know why it's not working. So that's a great place to find out.
And I want to give it another example. I was just talking to an employee of another business. She was the front office gal. She would interact with the public that would come in.
Yeah.
And she would show off these office spaces, and people, it was an office, like a suites, office suites.
Executive suites.
Executive suites.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's the right word. Executive suites. The ownership recently changed, and the owner increased all the rents, not on the existing people, but on empty offices.
Gotcha.
So when people were coming in, she was in charge of showing them the offices, and every single one of them would go, yeah, this is great. I think, how much is it? Whoa, that's so expensive. That's insane. And they would leave. Well, the boss was like, hey, how come nobody's renting these? And she said, well, it's expensive. Yeah. It's too expensive. You raise the prices too high. It's too expensive. And he's like, oh, no, I think it's fair. Based on what? Based on what? What research, Well, I think it's fair. Well, the funny thing is they're losing, this particular office space is actually losing tenants to cheaper places. And so she's like, no, it's not like that. And they have an investor who is also a business partner. Well, she tried to talk to the other business partner, and he shut her down. His response was, no, you talk to this guy and he talks to me. And then we make the decisions. If you're that kind of business owner, if you are too high and mighty to talk to the lowest person on your totem pole, which a lot of times is one of the most important people on your totem pole, but you don't treat them that way. If you're that type of business owner, you are in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will fail.
All right. So the next thing is talk to your customers, right? And I mean, you actually talk to your customers, because a lot of times, like you just said, you have your frontline people, and it's like, nope, they deal with the customers. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to get any feedback from them. Like, that's why I pay them.
Yep.
Right? Well, how are you going to find out what's wrong, what's broken, if you never talk to your customers and get their feedback? And the next thing is, this is a great one, revisit and reread negative reviews you've had in the past. A lot of times you get a negative review and it's like, oh my gosh, these people, they're insane. They should be put in a mental asylum.
It's their fault, not mine.
Yes, exactly. Well, if enough people are saying the same thing in their negative reviews, it may not be them.
That's right.
Right? So go back, look for patterns in any negative reviews you have. Hopefully you don't have very many. But if you do, learn from them. And then the other thing is request feedback from your customers on a consistent basis. You know, I've seen businesses where they request feedback maybe once every 5 years and they ask, how are we doing? You know, well, you know, in that 5-year period, you may have lost a ton of customers because something was wrong.
Exactly. And in that questionnaire, it should be, what can we do better, or what would you have us change?
Yes. And a lot of times people don't want to ask that question. They're like, well, that's just going to bring up negative things. Yeah, exactly. It's going to bring up the negative things that are losing business for you.
And help you prevent losing business.
Yeah, so put together a way to consistently request feedback from your customers, not only of how you're doing, but ways that you can improve the business, ways that you can solve any problems that might be there. So then how do you fix it? So now we know what's wrong. How do we fix it? Well, Trevor kind of talked about it a little bit. The first thing is, don't justify it away. I see business owners do this all the time. It's, oh, that customer's so hard. I hate them. Like, I'm so glad they're going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they're not going to pay us any money anymore.
Oh, and the funny thing is, your attitude rolls down to the employees.
Yes.
And I've actually had it before where in a business, the employees were complaining, and I thought, how in the world, like, why would the owner put up with this? The customer is the reason you have a job.
Yeah.
And then I talked with the owner, and the owner was doing the exact same thing. And the funny thing was that what the customer was requesting of them was part of their service. It was part of the service. And the employees were complaining that they were, you know, oh, I can't believe they want us to do this and everything. It's what you advertise. So again, it's, you make sure you're not complaining and make sure your employees aren't complaining about it.
Right. It's actually funny. I saw a thing the other day. It was at a fast food restaurant, and it said, if there's anything wrong with your order, let us know and we'll fix it. And I thought about that for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. So if you mess up on my order, you're going to fix it to the point of just what I paid you for.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go above and beyond because you made a mistake and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, here, have this or whatever. It's like, hey, if we screw up, we'll make it right to exactly what you paid us to do.
Well, and the funny thing, so that reminds me, my wife and I have a standing date every Wednesday at lunch. Every Wednesday we go out to lunch together.
Yeah.
I recommend that for all of you business owners. It's awesome. And so we went to this taco place. One of the tacos I ordered was supposed to have potatoes on it. And this is just something silly, but it's real life. And I get the taco and it has one little cube potato. One. And I was like, that's crap. I ordered this because I wanted the potatoes, right?
Yeah.
So I went back up and I said, hey, is this supposed to have potatoes on it? And he's like, yeah. Oh, and he sees it. And he's like, that only has, well, that sucks. He said it. He goes, well, that sucks. He's the manager. He goes, that sucks. Let me get you another one. And so I was like, thanks. He goes, and keep that taco. Go ahead and keep it. And I was like, okay. So I take it out and he goes, and I'm going to bring it to you. And I'm like thinking, great. This guy's awesome. Great service.
Yeah.
Great business. Great manager. He brings it out. The next one had 3 potatoes on it. 3 little potato cubed. And I'm like, you did so good until you brought me the mother frickin' taco to replace it. If I own that business and someone came up and said, hey, isn't this supposed to have potatoes? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that sucks. Let me get you another one. I would make sure that thing had like friggin' 50 potatoes on it. I would over potato it because I want the customer. I know that customer wants potatoes. Hey, you know?
You're just lucky that he didn't just grab 2 little cubes of potato and drop it on the original taco.
Well, I feel like that's how businesses are these days, right? They're so chintzy and don't do that. Over deliver.
Yes.
Over deliver.
Exactly. So another thing is, they take that attitude of like, well, look, it's only one customer. You know, if I just lose this one customer, no big deal. But they don't realize that it's not one customer.
No.
It's a problem in your business.
Yeah. What you need to understand is there is a whole lot of people who won't speak up.
Yes.
They won't speak up. They will just leave.
Yeah, they will take their money elsewhere.
They will take their money elsewhere, and you will be left going, why are we losing people? So the people that do speak up, there are more people leaving with that exact same problem, but they just don't speak up.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So the other thing you can do on how you can fix it, ask your employees how to fix it. Because again, they're the ones that are working there with, your customers every single day. And most likely they have a good idea of how they can fix the problem, but they may just not be comfortable coming to you and suggesting a way to fix it.
Like these employees, like you said, they may come back and go, you can only book us for 3 houses because these 3 houses are all big.
Yeah.
So it's going to take us 6 to 7 hours plus a lunch,
Right.
to do these 3 houses. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, you know what? You're right. If I want this customer and they pay us more because their house is bigger, then we have to give you more time.
Yeah, but I could see in that situation where the employee goes, well, I'm not going to say that to my boss because then they're going to be like, well, you don't work hard enough, or, I can't make money doing this, or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
Right? So ask them for their feedback on how to fix the problem. Then ask your customers, is there a way to fix the problem, right? They may have a solution for you as well. Now, hopefully that's your last resort, that you're asking the customer how to, make your business better as far as, solving the problem.
Solving the problem, that's right.
But if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do,
That's
right? Because they may know what it is.
Okay.
And then the final thing is look at your competitors and see how they do it. Because they may have already solved the problem in their business. And instead of you trying to figure it out, you can just copy what they're doing, apply that to your business, and be a better business.
And remember, as my closing thoughts here, I just want you to not take offense to this.
No.
Look at your business and realize you have broken pieces. You should be sitting here going, yeah, I know, and I need to fix those. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. You shouldn't be going, oh, my business is perfect. If you think your business is perfect, guess what? Your Tesla has issues, right?
Yeah.
Google has issues.
Amen.
Facebook is a mess.
Every business can improve. Our businesses, like we were talking about it earlier, Trevor, the businesses that we own, they all have ways that they can be better.
And that doesn't mean that you aren't making money and that you don't run a good business. You just we have multiple businesses doing multiple millions of dollars a year, and yet we still have things that we are fixing all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're doing everything that we're telling you to do. Understand, that's what we do. We're not just, blurting out crap. We're not regurgitating somebody else's stuff. What we are facing and doing in our own businesses on a daily basis is what we are telling you, what we are sharing with you. Right?
Yep, absolutely. All right. So the homework. What's the homework tonight?
Identify one thing that is broken in your business and fix it this week. What is one thing? Because you might have a couple, you may have one, you may have 50, and it gets overwhelming. What is one thing that you can look at and fix this week before next week's podcast?
Yep.
And get it taken care of. Get out there and get it done. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's it, guys. That's all the time we have. Thank you for spending another Tuesday with us. We love you. We appreciate you. Share the podcast. Get it out there. Join our YouTube. I think it's fun. I have people who hit me up and say, Trevor, I listen to you on the drive during the day, and then I actually watch your YouTube show later, because I love watching and seeing your guys' interaction and just, it's more personable. So join the YouTube channel, and we will catch you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.